What's up, Star Wars fans? It's Swtor Gaming, about to watch Chapter 15, The Believer of The Mandalorian, directed by Rick Famuyiwa. And it's the episode if we saw last week. It's when we're Mayfield. They're going to go try to find him. Let's see what happens. I mean, I'm excited. The Mandalorian's been kicking all sorts of ass, and I think we're about to get our Star Wars version of Avengers Assemble.
This is the way.
Greetings, citizens of the galaxy. Welcome to Swtor Gaming.
Welcome. I believe the Force has guided you to me.
Who we truly are is defined by our actions.
Alright, Star Wars fans, I just finished seeing Chapter 15 of The Mandalorian, The Believer. It was really, tame compared to the other episodes we've had before, but I can tell you that one of the things that I've enjoyed is when directors get to build more character. And this episode was more for the character development of Mayfield, played by Bill Bur. Just give you a little summary before I'll give you my thoughts of the episode. But you have Bill Bur, and he's serving a sentence, mining. It looks like on not mining. He's like on a scavenger world or a junk world, and he's hammering away or chipping at pieces of the junk, and then a Republic security droid, who to me looks a little bit more like the HK droids we've seen in the Legends. Who knows? That could have been an HK droid. We don't know. I mean, if the ones that Thrawn was using, as far as the ones used Spar, as they were confirmed as HK-87, and they didn't really look like HK droids, and they didn't even really speak. So it's possible that the Republic also is using a version of the HK droids. I don't know. Anyway, he has one of the security droids come up to him and gives the prisoner number and tells Mayfield that you have come down and accept your new orders. He's like, what's going on? And then you see Cara Dune, the marshal, and she's remanded Mayfield into her custody. And he's like, wait, what? Where am I going? Where is she taking me? And he goes, where am I? He wants to know where he's going, where is he being taken to. And when he doesn't move fast enough, he electrifies his electric baton, and he's like, oh, yeah, I'm going. They end up, he sees Boba Fett, and he's like, oh. He's a little wary of him. He's like, oh, I think you reminded me of the other guy that I know. And sure enough, the Mandalorian comes down in his armor. And he goes, whoa. And they read each other. He's a little wary. He's like, what's going on? He's like, well, we're taking you to, well, I need your help. You know a lot about imperial encryptions and imperial procedure, etc., etc. So they go to this planet. I don't remember right now because I just recently woke up. Enough. Trying to either put it in post, or you guys can comment below what it was. We go to this planet where there's it's an imperial mining colony, former imperial mining colony. I would say it's because now we just have the remnants. They're mining rhydonium, which is a highly volatile substance, which is a callback to Solo Star Wars story. You remember when they were trying to get the coaxium, the unrefined coaxium, they had to keep it cool, and if they heated up too quickly, then it would explode. So, in order to get into the base, they realize they need to take one of these transports, commandeer one of these transports. You have Fennec, you have Dune, everyone tries to say they would go, except in order to get the information, the console needs to scan your face, and so the only ones that's going is Mandalorian and Mayfield. So, he's like, Mayfield first goes, look, as good as you may be behind, once they see that Mandalorian armor, it's game over. Cara Dune volunteers said once they see scan your chain code, it's all over. Boba Fett goes, I can't go. They might recognize me. So Mando and Mayfield go. They drop down on one of the transports. Cara Dune, knocks out both the troopers. Mando changes into trooper outfits, so does Mayfield. Mayfield has a great line that is a callback to, well, it's been done several times, but It's called back to any of the Star Wars movies where they mentioned they can barely like Luke. I think it's called back to first Star Wars where I believe Luke goes, "I can't see in this outfit, this helmet." I think maybe Luke or Han when they commandeer the stormtrooper outfits, or they after they have the stormtroopers come aboard the Millennium Falcon. So Mayfield takes his helmet off, and they're going through, and you see a little bit more into Mayfield's character. He's talking about how, look, whether the wars are done by Mandalorians, Imperial, or Republic, it doesn't matter. These people, you're just people that are occupying. Whether you're Imperial, he goes, whether on Alderaan or Mandalore, people, everyone believes different things. So the focus on this chapter is belief. What do you believe? And it becomes clear later on that Mayfield believed, and I actually became a bigger fan of his character in this episode, which kudos to Rick Famuyiwa. I think it's Famuyiwa. I always mess up his last name. I apologize, but his way to develop characters in a short period of time, and I enjoyed it last episode. I enjoyed it this episode, which I'm glad because I believe he directed the last one where he had to go with Mayfield and break one the one Twi'lek chick's brother out of prison. He's done a really good job developing those characters. So kudos to him. Continues to do that. So they go in. He finds they have to fight off these pirates that are trying to blow up these. I would say pirates and not really pirates actually. I would say Mayfield said they were pirates, but I just believe they're people that are not happy that Imperials still occupy, or so more likely rebels. As if we know rebels are just made out of people, as we saw in Rise of Skywalker. Who are these? They're just people, sir. So Mayfield's driving, and he's got to try to keep it really cold because, I mean, keep the Rhydonium cool. So you see the meter, and if it goes into the red, I mean, it's game over. Meanwhile, these supposed pirates, I think they're just rebels, people that want the Imperial occupancy off to be done and get off their planet, trying to blow up the transports and they can't get them. So Mando in the stormtrooper outfit, not the white, but the stormtrooper of that, the transport trooper outfit, is just fighting these pirates off. First, he's using his blaster, but eventually the blaster jams, which stormtroopers, I mean, they get the worst outfits, anything. He's fighting them off they have like spears, and he gets a little overwhelmed because of the numbers. And they keep trying to attach thermal detonators to blow up this, and he takes them off, he throws them back at him. I think he defeats 5 or 6 of these supposed pirates on his transports before they get close enough, passing a bridge, and you have just troops coming out. You have stormtroopers. You have some of the desert troopers we saw in Rogue One. If you call back to Rogue One, we see X-wing. I'm sorry. We have TIE fighters that come in, are just shooting up all the people. They just pretty much get all shot up, and you see them that they get to the base and they're held as heroes. Then Mayfield was going to the console. He goes, there it is, and have it scan his face. And then he sees his former superior officer, and he says, I can't do this. This guy's probably gonna recognize me. And he goes, well, I'll do it. Like, you have to scan your face. So first Mando goes to the council, puts in his code cylinder, try to get the information from Moff Gideon's ship, and then try to scan his face, and it goes error because he doesn't take off his mask. And then he does, which shows you that he is changing. That's why there's more depth at this episode called Chapter 15, or this chapter called The Believer, because the Mandalorian believed that real Mandalorians don't take off their helmets. He was told he was a child of the Watch, explained to him, which is an offshoot of Mandalorian culture, of cult, and he was not supposed to take off his helmet. This was the way. But when faced with what's more important to him, the child or him keeping his past beliefs, he gave his beliefs, and we see Pedro Pascal's face, and so does Mayfield for the first time, I guess. And he gets scanned. It's fine, nothing, because they've probably never seen his face. Nothing sets off any alarm. His cold cylinder. So the former commander, Mayfield's former commander, he and imperial officer calls attention, and he quickly tries to take his cold cylinder so no one sees what he's doing. And he asks, so what's your TK number? What's your designation? He says, troop, he says transport officer. And he's not understanding, because we all know that are fans of Star Wars that most Imperial troopers have their TK numbers. Those are their designations. And so, in order to save him, Mayfield comes out. He said, "This is my superior officer. You know, he got the ship that he was on before had a little bit of the vacuum let out, so he can't really hear that well. So everyone just calls him Brown Eyes." I'm making a joke. He's like, "Brown Eyes." He says, "That's all. You guys are the two heroes who brought us Rhydonium. Let me get you a drink." In the course of getting him a drink, I'm sitting down talking to him, and the officer tells him his ideals and beliefs, but it's a great job too of this guy talking about freedom, and this is where that theme again throughout the episode, the believer, comes in. Mayfield was saying, "Yeah, I was out on that same world, and I lost what about we lose 5 to 10,000 people." And this is again the believer. What do you believe? He believed in the Empire. He was an Imperial sharpshooter, right? He's like, and so the officer goes, "Most people think they want freedom, but the truth is they want order, right?" Because that's his belief, not Mayfield, but the Imperial officer. He's like, that's why when we come back, they're gonna open us, waiting for us, welcome us in open arms. Mayfield's like, "Well, he says." Mayfield goes, "You had to make a lot of sacrifices, right? It's a little hard decisions. Like, how good were those decisions for their families?" He's like, "Well, it's an honor for them. It's an honor for them to die in service to the Empire, because that's what a higher up would believe as far as a high officer of the Imperial military. They have to believe that propaganda, right?" So again, believe in the theme. And Mayfield goes, "Well, how was that for them?" You could see. Bill Burr's an amazing actor, guys. If you haven't seen the kind of the emotion, the regret, the anger on his face, and he goes, "Yeah, and he blasts him right in the face. Then boom, he blasts the other guy, and the look that Pedro Pascal gives him was like, at first he just couldn't believe it. He's like, "Yeah." And then they start shooting everyone up and trying to escape. And while they're trying to escape, you have Fennec and Cara Dune just sniping, just keeping all those other troopers off their back, till Boba Fett in Slave One picks them up on the roof. And there were times where these episodes have catered to fan service, but when fan service is used and callbacks are used, easier and not just blatantly put there for no reason, you can see in this episode that Rick Famuyiwa was a veteran filmmaker, veteran director, because as he's trying to pick them up, you got 2 X-Wings on his back, and he releases those depth charges that remind us of when Obi-Wan was chasing Boba Fett father, Jango Fett, through the asteroid field, and used those kind of depth charges, is what they look like. And it completely destroys those 2 X-Wings. While he's on, when they jump on Slave One, before that actually happens, Mayfield, he said, "Give me that cycler rifle." I believe it was the one that Boba Fett had with, I think it was a Tusken Raider cycler rifle, or it could have been the Mandalorian cycler rifle, but he shoots, and that hits the Rhydonium. It's an awesome shot. Like, both the 2 snipers, Cara Dune and Fennec, was like, "That was a good shot," showing that he's actually a really, really good shot. And so they get away. You get Mayfield goes, all right. They tell him something like, all right, I'm ready to go back, officer. He's waiting to be cuffed again. And he goes, you know what? That was actually a really good shot back there. He's like, yeah, I had to get some stuff off of my chest. I had to, because he, as much as he believed in the Empire and kind of tried to defend what he was doing when push came to shove, and he had it in his face and his past, he had to come face to face with his past. He realized that he was on the wrong side. So Cara Dune says to Din Djarin, it's too bad Mayfield died back there. I'm like, huh? And he's like, wow, you guys are actually letting him go? He doesn't say that, but they shows it, and they leave him on the planet. So I guess Mayfield, well, Mayfield could possibly come back in season 3, which I'm really a big fan of. Like, there's some people who thought Bill Burr's character was really annoying that took him out of Star Wars. I don't think so, because there are very different accents, everything like that. But I liked his character, and he was pretty much a badass with a blaster in this episode. So they take off, and before the episode ends, you hear a message sent off, and I guess a communication officer says, "Moff Gideon, you gotta listen to this." And Din Djarin, Mandalorian, says, "You have something I want. You think you understand the value of it, but you don't, and it means a lot more to me than you will ever know. And I will get it back soon. He will be back with me soon." And you kind of see, Moff Gideon like, like he's not scared, but he understands the implied threat. So I don't know. I don't know if he will actually, after this, if he is able to get, because we have one more episode to go. I do not necessarily believe that the Mandalorian will get the child back. There's a slight possibility, if they want to be done with Giancarlo Esposito's character, that he might get foiled. If they do get the child back, and maybe Giancarlo Esposito's Moff Gideon asks for help, we might see Thrawn. Considering that, I mean, spoiler alert, you guys probably already know from my last video, we are getting an Ahsoka series, and I believe Grand Admiral Thrawn will be the villain in that series. So we will get, because I always believed that we would. Once we saw Rosario Dawson as Ahsoka, it was kind of like, I'm almost certain that they're working on that. And this is why Dave Filoni is working with Jon Favreau and becoming a student to be able to do this, because when he has his own series, he can work with his own directors and maybe call on Jon Favreau for help. But we've seen how good he's getting. I'm pretty sure he's on, since he's one of the producers of this series, he's on with Jon Favreau and everything. So it wasn't like the best episode, wasn't the most action packed, but it was a fun episode. So guys, let me know what you think in the comments below, and may the force you will further your destiny. Always.